Alright, so we got the gauge display, 6.86 Holley. Threw a few things on there. Took me a few minutes to figure it out. So on the bottom, in the middle, the big gear is the actual output gear that you're in when you're at the track. Race gear and race lockup, those will be changing according to the settings you have in the Holley Auto Shift stuff. So that'll be the 1 through 6 and the 0 to 100% on the race lockup there. You should see that changing per gear. When the lockup's turning on and off, you could follow that. But the output gear in the center, even when you're in manual mode, that will be always the gear that you're in. And when you're at the track, it'll just follow the race gear. Mile per hour lockup is an added lockup that I set up that you can use as a minimum gear required and a minimum mile per hour required, and then that will turn on, so you can manually shift on a street and still have some lockup capabilities without using the race lockup mode, I guess you could say, without having to change that. That's all. So you almost have like a street lockup and then a race lockup set, a bunch of stuff. So you got your trans PSI, trans temp. I'm watching my PSI float a little bit on this thing, so I'm gonna have to look at the pump, see what's going on with that. But here are the firm settings, the lockup settings. So this is how fast your gears will change. I have them set when you're at idle kind of high, so that there's no delays or anything when you're trying to select gears. Like, let's say you come to a stop and you're in 6th gear, this will allow you to have a quick flip down of gears, the 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, if you want to take off in 2nd. As soon as you touch the throttle, they disappear, and you can watch. So now you're at very light on the firm, each gear. So that's working off engine RPM versus throttle position. But I can actually pop you in gear, and you can see the middle one. Follow my shifter. Also, you saw that during a shift, there is an input going to the Holley for timing poles if you want them. So the Holley actually knows what's going, when the shift is occurring, so it can manipulate some stuff around it. It only does it on upshifts, so obviously you're not going to be having the same timing poles going down. So here we go with that. So cool shit. Again, it's actually a fairly small display, but it looks really nice though.